What's up, JD? How you doing? For those of y'all that know me, I'm Doc Rock. Just a regular dude out here in Honolulu, Hawaii, but I love Ecamm. And then so what I wanted to do today was kind of run through setting up some scenes. There seems to be, it's funny, it's hard to say that. There still seems to be a lot of confusion about scenes and what it's good for and what it's not good for. And one of the big questions that comes up a lot as I'm like, vibing in the group is I run multiple shows and I want to know like how I can set my presets up and jump in and jump out and things like that. So without further ado, let's get it twisted. Now, what I will be doing is I will talk about some stuff and then I'll dip in and answer your questions and then I'll dip back. Because to be honest with you, the secret squirrel move right here, I'm recording this for my YouTube channel. But sometimes as I'm thinking this through, I get questions later and I realize I forgot. So I'm like, hey, let me try this new thing where I just record the video while I'm like live in the channel, in the group. And then when people ask me questions, I could throw them in my YouTube video and it look like I know what I'm talking about. It's genius. It's absolute genius. Anyway, without further ado, I'm Doc Rock. Check it out. Booyaka. Automatic. See, that was a little scene action that I did here in Ecamm where I created a scene that basically has my intro movie. So this is going to be helpful even if I'm just recording a YouTube video or whether I'm doing a broadcast, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're doing it. One of the cool things is that if you set up a scene, you can actually build scenes in a situation that as soon as that scene is over, it automatically jumps to the next scene. And this helps because people often ask, how do I play like a video and then put a sound to it? Because let's say you build the countdown screen, right? And you want to have some background music in your countdown screen. Well, you can set it up so that when the timer is over, it could jump to the next scene. And the next scene might be your intro. And then when the intro is over, it'll jump to the next scene, which is just your basic camera. So we're going to work on some of that issues right now. And if you have any questions, because I see about 17 of y'all in there, but so far, only JD has something to say. So if you got something to say, say it. All right, here we go. Thanks, JD, because at least I know somebody's paying attention. So I'm going to jump into demo mode for a split second. Boom. All right, we're here in demo mode. So some of this is going to be hard to see. Some of it's going to be easy. And it just has to do with the proportions built in Ecamm. If the audio needs help, let me know because I'm kind of monitoring, but sometimes I can't really hear what I'm saying here. All right, so cool. Here we go. First thing to do, if you look over here, you'll see this is a scene that I have set up that will be where my counter goes. Right now, I deleted what I normally have here so that I can build it from scratch with you folks. So what I do is I name my scenes. So this right here is where my counter is going to go. This next one is my intro, which you guys just saw. And all that scene basically has in it is it plays the movie. As soon as the movie's over, it jumps down to the next one. This one says it's my A6400 because I have another camera right here, which is not plugged in. I have, you had a round timer one with a closed circle. How you do that? Let me check that, Dakota. Then over here, you'll see in the bottom, it shows my Mac Mini because my Mac Mini is set up. It just pulls it in through NDI. I normally have the Mac Mini connected with the extra cam link, but I yanked it in order to just show that you put NDI tools on your thing. I could just pull in my Mac Mini if I want to. And then you'll see the Skype NDI because I guess I still have Skype open. I thought I quit it, but it's open. Okay, so let's get into making a scene. So right now, this is my standard 6400. This is a dark page. And it's good to have one of these because sometimes you just want a blank page with nothing. And so keep one of these in your arsenal just in case. And then if you wanted to throw your face on there, I could just add myself as a pip. and then I can be there and still have a blank black background for some reason. But I'm gonna go ahead and yank my pip off of there. Okay, this one is where normally my lower third shows up. I have it named lower third, but I deleted the file for a second just so I can let you know. And then last but not least, I have my little subscribe joint. First thing I want to do is say over here in my lower third one, I would come and actually, I talked about this earlier. I think everybody is doing the Livestream Pros / Bradley Vincent / my old tutorial for their timers. And this is cool and it's not cool. Here's why it's cool. Remember when Supreme first came out? And if you was a skater and you rode Supreme and it was banging and you loved it because it was a skater thing. And then everybody was wearing Supreme. And skaters don't wear Supreme no more. Why? Because everybody and their mama want to wear Supreme. The problem with the circle counters, everybody doing the exact same thing. All of the streams look the exact same. So I wanted to get off of that. So I'll show you one that I made quickly in Keynote. All you do is I'm dragging and drop. You'll see this before I let this go. This is my PNG file. I grabbed it from my iMac off camera, but it's floating around right here. And I'm just going to go to that scene and turn it loose. And there it is. Okay. I don't have my camera cut out because I'm a dummy and I forgot to cut it out. So let me switch over to open this up in preview. I'm going to set it up so you guys can see. Before we do this, I'm going to go ahead and add another scene real quick. And I'm going to call this one screen share. So you guys can see what I do. And while I have that live, I'm going to click this screen share. And then I'm going to open up preview. There we go. Now we in there. Okay, so let's close that pip real quick. So there's my image in preview, because I forgot to cut it out. So what you want to do is click this little guy right here, and that brings up your markup tools. Okay. Then you're going to click this first guy, and this is known as Instant Alpha. So I just place it in here and zoom it carefully. I can cut this hole out. It does jump a lot when you do it. It can get a little tricky, but I think that's good enough. I'll fix those little splashes later. So I'm going to save this PNG and drag that image back in. There's a hole in there. You guys can see me. And then you realize that is a large noggin, but that's okay. So what's cool about this setup is I can still make my timer by coming over here and pressing a little clock. And then let's give it a timer. Let's see, at 10 minutes for now. And I want this with 0 background. Turn that off. And I'm going to just go ahead and pop it in, bring it over here, adjust my size. And so I can pull off a similar thing. I got motion because my face is here. It's live. It's just better than just your face and a timer. But if you have a machine that doesn't have a lot of resources, say I was rocking this off my old school Mac Mini up there, I would probably do this as a timer versus the pulsating circles because it takes less resources. Like it's literally just a PNG with a hole in it. This would also come in handy for some of you folks trying to rock your logo, right? You want to have a cool looking logo thing. Use a blank Keynote slide like 50-50 where your logo and your info is here. If you're a teacher, say you're going to do your rundown, right? If you're a minister, you could be like, yo, get your book out. These are the chapter and verse we finna cover today. And so you don't have to do the little pulsating circle because everybody's doing it. It gets tacky real quick. And that's nothing against the people that make them. I make them. Bradley makes them. Paul Dixon, who's my homie, I knew Paul Dixon before I knew what an Ecamm was. So it's the internet. It's crazy like that. Dude's in the UK, but he listens to used to come to my UK podcast that I do. So yeah, this is just a different way of doing it. Okay, that one might be a little cheesy for some folks. So let's go back over to the other one that I made. And again, because me being me, I forgot to cut it out. We're going to cut it out again just in case y'all missed that. So let me kick over the screen share. So here's my iPad version. Click on the markup tool. Click on Instant Alpha. Instant Alpha is this magic wand up here. I know it's hard to see. I'm assuming I'm supposed to be able to zoom into that, but I never get that part right. Let's see, does it work now? Hey, come here, come here, come here. I got it. This is the Instant Alpha tool, people. It's this guy right there. Okay, it actually, and if you forget, the software tells you what it says. Let me zoom this back out. Do that. All right, cool. So now I can put this guy back where I had it and then just take the Instant Alpha tool. This time I was smart and I made it green so it's bright and I know exactly what's going on. So I'm going to save this and jump on over to my regular scene again. And at this time, turn off this bad boy. I'm going to leave my counter right there so I don't have to recreate it. And I'm going to grab this bad boy and drop it in. Now, the counter is on the bottom, so you got to move the counter to the top. In this case, I put the timer here, shrink it up a little bit, and then bam. When you have a large cranium like me, you have to make bigger holes. But most people, you'll be fine. No, seriously, I'm using a 16 millimeter, so it's kind of tight, and my camera is right there. So that's why my head is large in real life. It is a size 8, Boston Red Sox head, but it's a large head. Let me answer some questions real quick. So, Felicia, yes, I did use Keynote to do this demo. I pre-made these in Keynote, but you can use anything. I tell everyone to use Keynote because it's free and it came with your computer, and most people barely even know it's there. Also, most people don't realize the power that that application has, okay? If I'm creating it for myself, honestly, I'm an Illustrator dude. I know Adobe Illustrator better than people in my family. Not that they don't know. I mean, I know the software better than I know the people, because I'm an Illustrator all day, every day. I live in Illustrator. I make custom furniture and custom cabinets. And so I do a lot of my shop drawings and things like that. So like I live in Illustrator. If it was up to me, I'd have you guys use the Illustrator because it's quick, it's fast, it's beautiful. But most people ain't on that $600 a year Adobe life. So your vector software is going to be much, much better than Keynote, but it comes at a cost. Now, there is Inkscape, which is a free version of Illustrator, kind of open source type joint. Like OBS is the Ecamm, and there's a big Inkscape community. So if you're artistic and you're feeling limited by Keynote, I get that. Get Inkscape or Affinity Designer. It's also dope. If you happen to be iPad-oriented cat, like, you want to go in here, get Procreate, draw your overlays, do all your work and stuff in Procreate, bring it into preview like I just did. Make sure what you want to cut out is an easy to cut out color, and then cut it out and save the PNG. So you don't have to be limited to Keynote. And so that's good to know. You know what I'm saying? Like even Photoshop. If you got your Photoshop game on, or Affinity Photo, which is their, the cheap version of Photoshop, or Pixelmator, or GIMP, whatever, jump on it because it's easy, and you'll get better than Keynote. Most of us Ecamm people get everybody on Keynote because it's free and you already got it. The other thing that's cool about Keynote, which a lot of folks don't know, sometimes you got to be somewhere because, you're sitting in line and you're waiting and you're doing nothing and you're bored in the house bored. You can start your graphics on your iPhone or your iPad with Keynote, get it 90% of the way done, your layouts, your everything, and then they're on the cloud because of iCloud. Open them up on your Mac, fix it, fix the right fonts, cut stuff out. You know what I mean? You're not limited to your computers. That's another cool thing about Keynote. Anyway, we have some more questions. What's up, Lamuel? He said, what's up? One of these days, you're going to have to teach me how to say your last name. YouTube. I'm not even going to try to go there. But I mean Solomon Poe. Eddie said his way is struggling. I don't know what the hell that means. Eddie's crazy. And Mr. Henry said, awesome work. Okay, cool. So now we got our counter timer thingy sort of right here. And I gave you folks 2 options you can play with, you know. But again, there's many ways to skin this cat. Okay. We did the intro. And then this is my standard camera. Now I'm going to hit my lower third. Now, my lower thirds, I did in Final Cut. They a little bit, we have a word in the Okinawan dialect of Japanese. It's ugachugana. It means it's over the top. You know that one family member that's extra? Yeah, that's me. So I did mine in Final Cut. Again, you could do these in Keynote. This is just a file. I'm going to drag it. You can either drag it into the movie section or you can drag it into the overlay section. Because I want to make sure it's tied to this scene, I'm going to drop it in right here. And there it is. Let me move this little switcher guy out the way. So there's my lower third. Now, as you see right now, it's stuck, right? What you want to do, let me get this out the way again. Sorry, there's no good place to put it. I kind of want this to be separate, Ken Glenn. I want this to be separate because there's always someplace I don't want it to be. If you click this little downy here, you could tell it at the end, you want it to autoplay when you hit that scene, which is what I do. But you could also tell it to automatically hide, or you could tell it to loop, right? So if you were doing this, I don't know why you would loop a lower third. We're going to leave it at hide, okay? So I have autoplay checked and hide checked. So now if I come from this look to this look, it automatically plays. And then when it's over and y'all are well versed at who I am, then it should disappear. But it ain't disappearing. Oh, sorry. It's longer than I thought it was. Now it's disappearing. Okay. So now we're going to back up a second because some of y'all just hopped on, right? So watch this trick. This is how we do. So now I got my counter guy. Okay. Then I got my intro video and then I got my lower third. Okay. So I want you to watch this trick now. Okay. This is where it's going to get cool. I'm going to play the intro again. Not humble bragging, but I just want you to see what happens when we do this. Hey, thank you for watching my Ecamm show. I'm your host, Doc Rock. That lower third played automatically. I didn't even touch the stream deck. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you guys for watching my show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see all of my cool videos. Anyway, that's how you do it. So people ask that question, like, how do I play this and then this? Because I'm doing my intro and I want this to happen and I want this to happen. Set them up in scenes where the things, as soon as one scene is over, it drops to the next scene automatically. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to take my blank screen and move it to the bottom because, hey, I said move to the bottom. So next what we're going to do is we're going to hit the subscription guy. Okay, so the subscription guy, again, is just a lower third movie that I made again in Final Cut. And you can absolutely make these in Keynote. As a matter of fact, if you follow Bradley on this channel, Bradley has put together a bunch of lower thirds that you can animate in Keynote directly using your own info and then save them. And they're much lighter. This one's kind of huge because, again, I'm that dude that likes to make stuff in Final Cut because I know how. All right, so then I have it set. Again, click on autoplay. And when it's done, I want it to hide automatically. And then it's gone. That's it. Okay, so I have my basic countdown. I got my intro, got my lower third, got my blank camera because I'm going to be talking for a little bit. And then I have my subscribe. Now, if you look carefully over here, there's a command 5. Because if I'm in here and I just want to play the lower third without touching anything, I can just hit command 5 and it'll play. I also have that on my stream deck over here. If I hit the button, it plays on the stream deck. And if you guys want, we will do nothing but stream deck show one day because that definitely is something that will come in handy. So now, Here's where we're going to get tricked. If you do multiple shows, all you have to do, I like this screen share thing that I have going on right here, right? This right now, I'm currently showing you guys my desktop, and then I can put on my PIP. There we go. Okay, so I got my screen share thing, and I like this setup for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I like this. So I want to keep this scene, right? So go back to my regular camera. All I need to do is take this particular part right here. I can pick it up, I can drag it and drop it on my desktop, and it's going to export that scene. If I want to recreate this scene for a different show, all I got to do is drag it back in. Import and export, that's simple. Drag it to the desktop, drag it to a folder, drag it back in. So on my desktop, I have a scene that I use for my DJ live streaming show. So I can literally just pick it up, drop it in here, and there it is. So simple. Got my Skype guest right here, got my head right here, like it's already set up. So if you don't want that, like, okay, this is cool, but it doesn't belong in to teach people how to do stuff with Ecamm show. Here's how we fix this. Click this little group. DJ live streaming, DJ LS. Take this guy and put it inside the folder. So that way I don't have to pay attention to it for this show, but it's there. All right. So let's check the questions. Felicia said, yes, a Stream Deck show. Let's see. She says, when I connect 3 cameras, it automatically sets them automatically. Automatically. Date? Hold on. This might require coffee. I'm not sponsored by Starbucks, but I drink a lot of it. So send me Starbucks. So it does them alphabetically, not automatically. But how can she make the Canon M50 the primary camera? That's a good question. I don't even know. So here's include in switcher. So I got my Camlink 4K, my Mac Mini, and my Skype Guest NDI. And it's alphabetical. I see. Okay, so let me ask you an add-on question, Miss Lady Girl. What if you set the scenes up so that there's one that's just your Canon, and you put that as the first scene and you put it on command 1 so you can always get back to your first camera with a command 1 real quick. You know what I'm saying? And then, or if you don't have a Stream Deck, or if you have a Stream Deck, you can just load that scene that way. That's one way to do it. The other thing to remember, let me go to my dark camera scene, click on my camera. Adding and removing cameras is as simple as plussing and minusing, right? If you're not familiar with that, that's how you do it. And if you don't want it to be pipped up like that, when you click here, you just got to do the crop split or swap the cameras. You know what I'm saying? Or turn this guy off, the pip off, and then you get side by side or, the full screen. And if you don't like the order, what I always do is delete one and then put it back, which is lazy because you could just hit swap camera and that does the same thing. So there's about 87 ways to skin that fish. So probably what I would do is just make scenes and label my scenes after which camera is which. Hold that thought. It might be time to switch from coffee to whiskey because it's 7 o'clock here. See, we think alike, bruh. We think alike. He said, hit the swap cameras. Oh, snap. I forgot about that. Okay. LA. I'm going to just call you LA because I don't want to be messing up your name. This is cool. He said you could just do 1, 2, or 3 in your camera choice. I got that too. So up here, where you see right here, I got my camera set up as 2, 3, and 4. So when you're over here, you can just switch cameras. Oh, shut up. Oh, disco. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry. That is money. I seen that number a million times. Okay? I've been looking at this over and over, and I just count them. And I've been a Mac guy, Mac software guy forever. Okay? It never dawned on me to press 1, 2, 3, 4. That's cool. All right. I just got school. Okay, Felicia, watch this again. Pay attention, woman. Okay, listen. Inside the camera list, it says Camlink 4K is 2, my Mac Mini is 3, and my Skype NDI is 4. I don't know why my other Camlink decided they wanted to be dumb.
A few moments later.
Basically, oh, you found it the same way. Yeah, you just accidentally. So, Felicia, right here, it says 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so if I hit 1 now, you're going to see my desk in its full-on messiness. That's a shocker. And then 2 is my large cranium. And then 3 is my Mac Mini, which is on Skype. And then 4 is my Skype, which is on Skype. So you can just bam, 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 bam. Oh, I'm going to use that in a DJ live stream for something. That's off the hook. That's off the hook. Samaya. Okay, she came up with the heat question. Now you're messing with me. Samaya Kazi says, any ideas on how to show pre-submitted questions as an overlay? I have about 30 or 40 that I want to do at one time. I know how I would do it, but you might be different. And LA answered my question because this is how I would do it. I would do them as keynote slides. On the real though, okay, I want you to reimagine something. We're going to pull a Walt Disney for a second. I'm going to jump over here to my count and I'm going to use my little iPad joint. But instead of putting my head here, I will cut a hole over here for my face or do the PNP. So I would have this guy right here, this blank section be where I'm going to play my keynote slide through. I have this keynote slide as an overlay, and then I have my face somewhere over here. Anyway, any design you want, girl, is your world. And I would do them as keynote slides. And here's the reason why. The advantage of that is twofold. There are ways in Keynote and Google Slides to say, take this document as a comma separated value and import those questions. It will generate all the slides off of that import, right? So if you're an email list type of person, right? Follow my homegirl Evie, right? Evie, she has a show on YouTube and on her Facebook. It's Yvonne Hyman, but we just call her Evie. Ask Evie is the website. She has a show called Automate to Dominate. She does all of this mad automation stuff. Like when she invited me to be on her podcast last week, humble brag, she sent me this document that was like, look, fool, I know we talk on the internet all the time, but I need to know your name. I need your headshot. I need your logo. I need your colorway. I need everything. So she had this list. I've been producing podcasts since 2003 when it wasn't even called podcast yet. And I don't have a list like that. And I consider myself a together kind of person. Her joint was perfect, yo. You basically sent her everything she needed. And so even the questions that, you might want to talk about, what's going to be your thing. If somebody listening to you because you think you're an expert, what you're going to bring to the table, like she had it all down. So what you could do, if you're capturing those questions, say from a mailing list or from a Facebook group or something, you can have that into what's called the Airtable database. This is free stuff, right? Airtable.com, I believe. And you just basically put the questions or have the questions automatically sucked out of the email, land in this Airtable database, and say, take that database and add it to Keynote, have it generate the slides. So you don't have to work. You know what I'm saying? You can have those questions automatically every week when you're ready to pop your show. It's all there. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, hey, what's the I should buy this week, or who I should talk to, or what's the subject matter that's going to help me get somewhere in my business. My question would be, Samaya, what you drinking? And then you'll say, Macallan's 12. And I'd be like, dang, there's a lady that knows her whiskey. So you can automate all of that and then do them as keynote slides. And so similar to having a graphic like that, it's much easier to bring in. I think I have somewhere up in here, I made like a little generic keynote, like demo type thing that I was using to show people how to do. Let's see if this is here. Questions come from Typeform, and it gets ported to the Trello board. See, you already there. You're already there. But don't talk to Evie then, because she's going to yell at you about Trello, because she's the ClickUp girl, and she switched from Trello to ClickUp, and half of her show is like suckering people to move with her. Hold on, let me see. I have like a kind of a generic example of what you're talking about. I just got to remember where I put it. You can have it something like this, you know what I'm saying? Where I have this quote, and then it's from Mark Twain. You would have, how do you get, pre-recorded questions into Ecamm, and it'll say Samaya Kazi instead of Mark Twain. You know what I'm saying? And then you can just go to the next one. All right, cool. And just go down the list, and big shout out to my old boss, Steve. And then, you go down like that. So, but instead of doing the generic screen share overlay, you would do the more formal Ecamm, presentation, and then your head over here, presentation over here kind of thing. So I actually have that here as a generic overlay. Let me just drag it in real quick. So I would take this particular scene that I have and then grab this PNG and drop it. So there's my head. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the screen share look. And it doesn't fit. So I want to turn off zoom application. And then I need to size my keynote into the right position. Go back over there. And then I want to turn on my pip. And I don't know why my pip's not working. But basically, over here, you would basically turn back on your pip. And then once your pip comes back, whenever it decides to come back. Oh, mine's is probably hiding underneath this overlay. Yep, I'll move it in here for a second. It happens. You want to right click on this and go to tall. And then put it right there. And then, bam. Then you would process your questions like such. You got it? Man, my head is large. I need to cut bigger holes. But that's how you would do it, And then the overlay, again, just something I generically created in Keynote. So that's basically how you would set that up. Oh, I see. He bringing the heat today. LA said, in your pip, you can still do 1, 2, 3. So let's see. Okay, so I can go 1. Hey, you gotta be clicked on this part of the window. Oh, no, he didn't. That is correct. Oh. Ah, nice. Nice. Oh, I see. Hey, why don't you do your own show? Leave me alone. You definitely about to make me open the Macallan's, dude. Yo, that's fire. That's absolutely fire. I love that. Okay, so I covered the import export is literally drag and drop. You can also click on this guy and use the tear sheet icon, which is this thing right here, and it will pop up and allow you to save it to your drive if you wish. And let me close this before it breaks anything. So that's good to know. Hopefully that didn't crash Ecamm because I'm using the beta and it does stuff like that. Okay, there it is. There's my pop-up. Now, one thing that I would say that's super, super important to do is in your preferences, right? In Ecamm, I don't know if demo mode will show this or not. Let me see. Hopefully that shows up. If you guys can see the preferences, let me know. One of the important things to do is in the video section when you're setting your record. It asks you. Oh, there it is. It asks you where you want to save this mess. You want to tell it to save your recordings to something other than your built-in drive if you don't have a fast hard drive, right? So it's super important. Click this save recordings folder and save it to SSD. I have mine being saved to a RAID. It's a really fast drive, and that helps you so your system won't do as much weird stuff. Especially when I'm trying to like teach Final Cut and have Ecamm running at the same time. Yo, it could get out of whack real quick. So I tell it to save those recordings to a different drive. The other thing is, if you stream a lot, you're gonna fill that drive up. And I know there's a lot of people out there trying to Ecamm with, say, less powerful machines. And if you're doing it to your built-in drive and you get past like 70, 80% on a drive, your machine starts to go dumb because it needs room to work, right? It needs that elbow space. You know that one person in the club that be dancing and swinging their arms and jumping and spinning and doing all of that extra stuff? Yeah, that's what happens with your data when you're using your computer, especially if you only have like 8 or 16 gigs of memory. The computer needs space to work. So it needs that drive space. So it'll start to overdo itself and then it'll get stuck in the corner and crash everything. So definitely if you have a small drive, write to an external, or if not, write to, make sure you got a lot of space so you can write to. I recommend write to something like this. This is a SanDisk 500 gig USB-C external, mad quick, always on sale at Costco, Best Buy, Amazon, everywhere. These guys are cheap. This is a 2 terabyte version. They're really, really quick. The other one is that one of these little SanDisk ones too. Also, same thing. It's like a half a terabyte, 500 gig, really, really, really fast. So plug one of those guys in, especially if you're working on a notebook or something, and tell it to write to that versus write to the internal hard drive. So that way you don't run into a problem where you crash your system because you're recording and, doing long streams and your drive is trying to spin, plus run Skype, plus run a bunch of stuff. Just let it separate that work out. Okay? Now, the last thing we want to cover inside the scenes region is you got a duplicate button. So if you like what you like and it's working good for you, you can just hit that and make another copy, right? And it's going to make a copy of the slide that you're currently on. And if for whatever reason you don't like that, you can hit delete and delete it. So there's, that's how you do it. You can, again, this is a good way to back up your shows. I am a long-term software dude. So I have built-in paranoia of losing data. Every time before I press the Ecamm update button over here where it says check for updates, I drag all of these scenes. You take the first one, hold down the shift key, take the last one, I drag all of them to a folder. And then I press update. And then nothing happens, I delete them. Just in case, they come back. Those of us with a Stream Deck, the last Ecamm update, it wiped out all of your Stream Deck profiles. It was easy to fix, but keep your joints backed up, especially this Ecamm stuff. The other thing that's cool about that, and write this down. Get out your pencil. If you got an Apple Pencil in the iPad or a regular pencil, always have one of these next to your stream. I keep a notebook and I write down my little nuggets, like how to press 1, 2, 3, 4 to switch cameras. Thanks, LA. Okay, what you want to do. If you have to go to somebody else's computer and use their setup, but you got your scenes how you like them, if you drag them and you copy it to an external or like a little a thumb thing, or even something as simple as one of these, you could go to the deck setup, put it in, drag them in, and your setup look like you want it, right? So if you're about to be, this comes in handy for LA, right? If you're about to be a guest speaker at a different church, right? And they say, oh yeah, we use Ecamm too. You don't got to drag your whole setup. You can just copy your scenes. And if you have keynote slides or graphics, you got to take those with you now. Make sure they're in the same spot. But move it to the external, take it with you, set up, drag them in real quick. Golden, like perfectly golden. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now, one last thing. Oh, just in case you guys don't know this yet, I do all of this teaching stuff on YouTube. That's the area. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the YouTube. That's where most of the info's going. I am working on a newsletter where I just drop these little joints all the time. I'm trying to get my newsletter game up because one of my mentors from the Leap and Livestream with Stephanie and Evie and all of them, they was like, yo, dude, you need to get your newsletter game up so that way you can let folks know when you're doing this kind of stuff. And I'm working on more of a weekly show to get you through these things. But I really want to help people with Ecamm. So what I decided to do was basically take a menu and just go down the menu. And I'm going to get all the way across this joint. And by the time I get to the end, Ken and Glenn, because them dudes don't sleep, they just be like coding all day. I'm going to have to back up and do it over again, back up and do it over again. Because just literally, and anybody that's been on here for the last couple of months, they added a bunch of heat. And they still added heat. The guest features, they tested it out last week. It's pretty cool. That seems to be working. That's coming soon. That's going to allow you to like invite a guest to your show. Just real easy, like. Oh yeah, I got you. Just you can also hit my direct Facebook page. Here, I meant to save this as one more thing, but it's just facebook.com/DocRockStar because it was my regular Doc Rock, but that's my personal page. You can follow either one. I don't care. I'm not that dude. Just hit me up there or hit me up on Instagram. I'm always there. YouTube is just Doc Rock. I'm pretty much Doc Rock everywhere. So, hit me up and we'll get you there. Feel free to just DM me. Like anybody would tell you, LA would tell you. Somebody asked me a question, I'm gonna answer it. I did tech support at Apple for like 10 years, so it's just what I do. I was a tech writer. I used to write for AOL. Just found out one of my old bosses just jumped into Ecamm now, so now I get to tell him what to do. Payback, Mike. I just want to thank you guys for like hanging out with me today, because like again, as I'm practicing what I want to make my YouTube videos on and stuff like that, sometimes it's easier to just come and do it with you guys so I can get a feel for what the real questions are going to be. So when I reshoot this or use pieces from this to generate a YouTube video, it's kind of easy. When I do go live on YouTube, sometimes it's just direct. I'm trying to get a schedule so like I know when these shows are popping, but I got ADD, HD, PhD, EXYZ, so I just kind of pop off when I pop off because, that's what it is. But yeah, thank you guys. If you have any questions, the questions will end up in the group. Ask your questions there. If you're not following Bradley Vincent and you guys is jumping in the Keynote game, he's another graphic designer, but he's very Keynote oriented. Like I'm a graphic designer from Illustrator, Final Cut, Motion, After Effects type thing. So yeah, make sure you following him. Download his packs and get yourself started. And make sure you check out Ask Evie on YouTube. She's the automation chick. She's like 380 miles an hour. Like I swear she drinks unleaded gasoline. This chick is 100 miles an hour, but her info is so solid. She's really helped me step my game up when it comes to the planning. The most common question in Ecamm is what machine, do I need? And can I do it with this and can I do it with that? And honestly, more than streaming, the pre-production and post-production is where the work gets done. So that's what you want. That's where you really want your machine to shine. Felicia, it is Doc Rock on YouTube, Doc Rock on Facebook, and Doc Rock on Instagram. I try to get every social media as soon as they come out. I try to be quick with it. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. As we say in the islands, aloha, mahalo, and see you soon. Don't forget, any questions, hit me in a DM. I got you. I'll take care of you. I love you, folks. Stay safe Peace out. Aloha.